Clips, clips. Clips, clips. Clips.
Alrighty, YouTube's another one of Kips Clips, and welcome to our BBC BeNEWSment at Weinstein Corp, with the Harvey Weinstein bullcrap getting peddled back on the BBCs. So I'm just having a wee look and making sure this is actually broadcasting okay. Oh, it is. It's just not on one of my consoles. Okay. I need more staff, that's what it is, I need more staff. But yeah, it looks like it's broadcasting okay. So welcome to the 1984 Newspeak News at 1 for Monday the 12th of February 2018. This week we'll be doing a BBC BeNEWSment back in on the BBC, man. It's comedy gold. BBC is comedy gold. It's the epicentre of the bullshit. It's very much the head of the dragon, or the most successful dragon out there when it comes to propaganda. And the reason it's so successful is because people like David Attenborough. People love the Top Gear. People love the BBC bullshit. Oh, look, they show me a cute little animal, they cannot lie to me. And then you get the BBC reporting on the BBC, which is just absolutely, completely fucking 1984. And there's a disconnect. Oh, beautiful. System down. Man overboard, actually. Shit. Looks like Spock's having a day off, I think. By the looks of things. But anyway, in the afternoon one and all, we're going to be doing a BBC BeNEWSment at the Weinstein Corp. That fat guy's mush has ended up back in the news somehow, some way, and we will be trying to decipher that on the BBCs. So in the afternoon, everybody, there's Rick, aka What They're Not Telling Us, Stewie, Roberto Carlos, and Zeus got out in the afternoon. Gents, how you doing? Mr. Brown was in there as well. Mr. Brown, thanks, my man. We will get around to that landscape. I have downloaded it. Hopefully do it tomorrow, mate, because it would be beautiful if I could show people the amount of work and time and effort that you've put in on that family tree, by the way. So if you're wondering what's coming out of me here, don't worry, it's just I can hear it's my Mr. Magoo pipe. So it's just a Bluetooth headset, but it's easier putting it there than that is round my neck because it strangles me. So in the afternoon, one and all, hopefully you're all well. Hopefully you've had a good weekend, man. Made the most of it. You know what I mean? It could be our last. The apocalypse is here. You've not heard Alex Jones? The apocalypse is coming, man. The water's killing you, the sky's killing you, your washing machine's killing you, your glasses are killing you, your non-stick frying pan's killing you, the lighters are killing you, the smoke's killing you, everything's fucking killing you. So it's probably going to be our last weekend ever, so make the most of it, folks. So in the afternoon, one and all, thanks for joining. If you do appreciate the 1984 Newspeak News hat one, Share it with your friends, share it with your family, share it with your foes. Tell somebody that doesn't know about the show. Help the show grow. Propagate the message, as the No Agenda show says. Stick a wee thumbs up. Helps the show, helps the clips, and most importantly, puts a smile on my face. Down below as well is all the links for all the other social medias. My 2 YouTubes, DTube, Steam It, BitChute, Ridiculizer for all the music, including the title music and more. Make sure you check that all out. So in the afternoon, one and all, thanks for joining me. So as indicated last week, we'll be battering into the BBC this week. Hold on, I've got Spock back and everything. Just need to make sure. Hey, yo, Spock, how you doing, my man?
It's real.
Oh, that's Alex Jones. What you saying? I know it's real. Yeah. The 1984 Newspeak News, the most authentic alternative, most authentic news, most authentic analysation of the news ever. Fact. The No Agenda show taught me how to do it, but they have an agenda. I don't. Not when it comes to geopolitics or telling you what football team to support. Certainly not. So, before we batter on to the BBC BeNewsment, let's have a wee look at the headlines and what the BBC is telling you to think about today. They might not tell you what to think, but they tell you what to think about. Thank you, artist taxi driver. It's like that guy tells you to think about the eugenics of the right wing, but fails to point to the eugenics of the left wing. Colour blindness, you can call it. Political blindness. Or propaganda, as other people would call it. So yeah, they might not tell you what you think, but they certainly tell you what you think about and how to frame it. So we'll be having a wee look at this. So as you can see on the world headlines, hold on, I'll stick a wee refresh just in case the world has ended since I've done that. New York State sues a Weinstein company. And again, it's very hard to even criticise the coverage of this, because then you get painted as somebody that, like, oh, yes, although you actually have females in your family, you must just want them to get raped and fucked. No, it's about trying to actually analyse where this news is coming from and for what reason. Why are they particularly pointing at one colour of paedophiles, one colour of sex pests, one colour of this, that or the other? It's because there is a political agenda behind it. Now, on all the main streams of news you get, not the mainstream media, that's a meme, all the main streams of news you get, predominantly from the internet by the way, but wag the dog can't come to the internet, have as much a political agenda as the ones they profess to hate. There's very few people pointing that out. Time to do so. So, Russian investigators comb jet crash site. See when I hear headlines like that, I think of Spaceballs. I think of the film Spaceballs, and when they were ordered to comb the site, and it got a big massive comb out and started combing the desert. Just where my head's at. Apologise over Peter Rabbit allergy scene. My God, listen, I just had BBC on playing while I was setting up. My God, what we have slipped into a really bad dimension, a really, really, really crazy, fucked up dimension, and it takes somebody that isn't politically affiliated, hasn't got a geopolitical agenda to point out, to actually decipher all this shit. Because can you point to me any news source that hasn't clearly got a political agenda? I don't think so. So there's the ANC again. South Africa. Focus on South Africa. It's mental. Let's not put that in the collage of information coming out from all angles. Rebel media, Britain First, put Britain on a condom, suck Britain's cock. I can't remember the name of the rest parties. But they're all now focused on Katie Hopkins down in South Africa, Tommy Robinson's heart pumps pish for the genocide of the white farmer. And now the BBC drawing the attention to the South Africans. Right. The reason this is happening is because there's an information war going on with regards to the internal politics in all these countries. Not every country's united. Look at your own. America, fucked. Britain, not fucked. America, divided. Trump. Britain, divided. Brexit. Europe, divided. All the nationalists and pro-European parties and stuff. They are tearing... Every country individually is getting tore apart internally. Not by accident. And all these people who protest to have their country's best interests at heart, why the hell do all the talking points they talk about fit into a larger pattern on the globe, geopolitically speaking? Right? It's not by accident, my argument is. It's not by accident. They're all speaking about the same shit because they're singing from the same hymn sheet. Though they hide behind the fucking flag of nationalism and all other forms of bullcrap fucking strips, football colours. But ultimately they are pulling... Their strings are getting pulled for a geopolitical purpose. So yeah, ANC, that's Zuma to resign. That's South Africa, Cambodia, North Korea, Pakistan... Taliban deputy chief killed though. Nothing to see here. Baseball stars mother freed after kidnap. Nothing I'm interested in. Britain's killed in Grand Canyon crash named. Neighbour dies in wedding. Party gunshots. India. Australia begins landmark banking inquiry. That may be interesting to actually touch on. And we shall do later on. Let's see what they're telling us to talk about in the United Kingdom's internal politics. There's the Britons killed in Grand Canyon. Oh look. Do you think if she looked like Quasimodo, her picture would be up there? No, I'm just saying, and like, fuck's sake, man. My gripe is with the people who uses these people's deaths as some sort of a fucking tool to sway public opinion. My argument is, see if she looked like Quasimodo, do you think she'd be up there? Answers on a postcard, make your own mind up. See if that wasn't a beautiful looking girl that just died. Do you think her picture would be up there? Do you think the BBC would have humped that death up to the top of the news cycle? Or is it because it was a very pretty looking girl? And the vast majority of people, especially men, would look at that and go, oh, fuck. No, a pretty one. Do you think anybody else who's got the balls to stand up here and actually genuinely call this shit out for what it is? The BBC are scumbags. Women and children. The better looking the women are, the more mangled the babies are. They'll drip that in front of you for their own news agenda, their own editorial stance. And it's disgusting. And nobody will admit it. You can't even... They know what they're doing. This isn't an accident. People that are in the advertising, the manipulating game, the propaganda campaign, the game, the PR consultancy game, they know exactly what's going on here. The famous old adage, if it bleeds, it leads. And if it bleeds, and it's good looking, fucking leads even more. That'll be interesting. Let's bounce into that in a wee second. I need to turn my fucking phone down. So, without further ado, say hi to the folks in the chat room, and then I'll batter into the BeNewsment. Gary, Roberto, Stewie, Chinny18 in the afternoon, gents. How yous all doing? Hope yous all had a good weekend. Stewie, what they're not telling us, Roberto Carlos, Zeus got in the afternoon, one and all. So let's batter into the BBC BeNewsment.
Oxfam is in crisis talks with the government over the scandal of aid workers using prostitutes in Haiti.
Right. Let's name the agendas going on here. Picking and choosing what NGOs are good. Talking about Haiti. Haiti's been used as a political football since the Clinton Foundation went down there and raped the place. I think it's been continuously raped since then. I even think there's like a black IP or something that's a fucking one of their main politicians and shit. I mean, it's bizarro land. And now they're wrapping it up in the Oxfam stuff as well. Now, many people who watch my channel will know I'm not a fan of any charities, especially NGOs and whatnot. But bear in mind that this is all wrapped up in geopolitical reasons. And if it's the BBC's doing it to you, you better believe there's geopolitical reasons going on.
7 years ago. The International Development Secretary at the time says the charity didn't explain the full extent of what happened.
I'll tell you what happened. Their workers went down there, they were wanting a wee bit of hookers and blow, and they paid for some hookers and blow. Right, I'm not saying it's big or clever, man, it's a reality, right? And now a well-known reality that's been so for some time is getting used as a way of shaping what NGOs are good and what ones are bad. Now, I'm not going to pretend to understand whose influence ultimately every NGO out there is under, but they're fucking under one. Point to me an NGO that, given scratching a wee bit beneath the surface, you couldn't find the political, the money-making element. People, right now, there's a big drive to just particularly point at the Clinton Foundation, a lot of the NGOs linked to them, so on and so forth. But it doesn't mean that they're the only bad actors. They're the only bad characters. The fact that there are the biggest propaganda peddlers out there, the BBC, shaping this argument leads me to the conclusion that there is a larger debate going on, and the BBC is there to steer the debate. Not open a debate, not have a honest and open discussion, but to steer it.
I think Oxfam were economical with the truth about what they were investigating. They may well...
You're an MP, and I think you're wearing tweed, and I think there's not... I think you're not being completely open and transparent about where you're coming from. Who's filling your pockets, Lord Farquhar?
...have stuck by the letter of the rules, but they certainly did not stick by the spirit.
Yes, we wrote some rules down. People may be following them, but they're not entering into the spirit of that. Where have I heard this pish before? Where have I heard... Oh, that's right, Donald Trump and the P5+1. Aye, Iran are doing everything that they're meant to be doing. Aye, they're obeying every rule in the book. Aye, but they're not entering into the spirit of it. You know that? That sounds like mumble-jumble bullshit that some sort of a teacher would say to fucking tell you that you're... Yeah, he's very intelligent. And this is pretty much every report card I ever got. Very intelligent, very capable. But he'll never be... I can't kind of keep his attention. It's almost as if like I'm boring him to tears. I'm not teaching him anything worthwhile. And this guy actually holds the attention of the class more than I do. So rather than like understanding what's going on here, I'm going to just call him a fanny and... put libel. You know, I could have sued the school system. I should still actually go back and do it. Literally the shit that get done in me in school because the motherfuckers couldn't control me. I could sue the pants off them, man. But no, so let's listen to the designated version of truth.
The government is now threatening to cut funding to Oxfam of more than £30 million. We'll have reaction from Haiti. Also this lunchtime. 3 Britons killed in a helicopter crash in the Grand Canyon have been named. Theresa May and the Irish Prime Minister are in Belfast amid new hopes power sharing can be restored at Stormont.
They're train a turd, you
There are
bastards.
new details of Prince Harry's wedding to Meghan Markle, including a carriage procession through the
Hey, a token black in the royal family.
Pictures have been
Woo.
released of an iceberg that's broken away from the Antarctic ice sheet, and it's
Oh my
4
God.
times the size of London.
Oh my god, a bit of ice breaks off a bigger bit of ice. Doesn't really mean much, it happens continuously. There's probably been bigger bits in history and shit like that, but let's point to that right here and now, because we can now look at it and hype the fear up to the nines. And global warming, of course, what you need to do is pay government to keep you safe.
And coming up in the sport on BBC News, high winds cause big problems for the women's slopestyle. Amy Fuller from Great Britain crashes, finishes 17th.
Boop, boop, sleep yet? Boop, 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 count down. Boop, boop, you're going to be asleep. Boop, boop, boom, you're asleep, back in the room with the doom. You'll believe
Good afternoon
everything.
and welcome to the BBC News at 1. Senior officials from Oxfam are in emergency talks today with the International Development Secretary to try to prevent government funding being cut following the scandal involving some of its aid workers.
I thought they were a charity. I thought Oxfam was a charity. Charity comes from charitable donations. It's not a government organisation. But now he's talking about government funds. I don't get it.
And prostitutes. It's claimed the charity...
Hey, ladies. Hey, my God. What? Members of Oxfam used ladies of the night. I mean, come on, fuck, man. Surely there's got to be some pedos in there or something. Got to be something better than they used a few hookers. Yep, it's no big, it's no clever, it's not ideal. It goes on. It goes on, man. To deny that is like denying that we breathe oxygen, right? And to act surprised or trying to use it to demonise. And I'm no fan of fucking Oxfam, I'm no fan of charity, full stop, man. You want to be charitable? You know how you do that? Go and be charitable to somebody. Don't outsource it. Don't pay some cunt else to do your charity. Go and do charity. It ain't that hard. Walk down your local high street. I guarantee you'll find a few people in need of some genuine fucking charity. The person that's probably needing some genuine charity, you might even know. And if you don't know, might actually fucking have the same accent as you. Might actually even fucking have some similarities with you and your region and shit. But nah. We need to save the kids with flies in their mouth.
Charity failed to give the government full details of what happened. And
Aye, they didn't put their receipts in for their hookers and blow. It would have been all good as long as they'd done. As long as they went, hey, Pablo Escobar and fucking Lulu Ferrara, here's the receipts.
in the wake of the devastating earthquake in Haiti in 2010.
Are they going to mention the Clinton Foundation? Are they going to mention that? Is this telling you who to blame and who done the thing instead of the genuine propagators of this bullcrap?
Oxfam denies there's been a cover-up. Matt Cole has more.
In the worst imaginable circumstances, Oxfam staff were meant to be in Haiti to help. It's now clear some had a very different agenda.
And remember the un-agenda. I've been speaking about the un-agenda first. The un of the to un the United Nations. The United Nations is the world power. Right, we're all being pre-programmed and framed to hate that. In the conspiratard world, we all hate the United Nations. Why? I don't know. Why? I really don't know. Because Alex Jones told us, because Ron Paul told us, because all these characters told us, we're told to hate the United Nations. Right? I'm no fan of the United Nations. It's a centralisation of power which I don't agree with, right? My moral compass is straight. I know where I'm coming from here. But when I see people continuously running down the United Nations, I see the agenda behind it. And then when you look on the surface, let's, for example, ask the question, who's the biggest breaker of United Nations resolutions in the world? That title would go to Israel. Right, because the United Nations isn't full-on Zio occupied as of yet. You still have China in there. That's about it. And China has a veto. So, call me crazy. I I use see all these throwaway terms that people will rhyme and repeat without investigating or actually understanding what they mean. Best way to control the opposition is to lead them. Best way to control the argument is to control both sides. Like, I take this on board and apply it to the information I'm receiving, and I see it happening. Where is the third, the fourth, the fifth, the sixth, the seventh argument or way of looking at things? It's unavailable. Unavailable. The agenda. The United Nations agenda. Make of it what you want, and you can look for my secret Oxfam badge because I'm shilling from Oxfam. No, I'm trying to read between the lines here and genuinely analyse the bullshit we're getting told to gobble up without questioning.
Amidst claims of sex parties and prostitutes, Oxfam sacked 4 staff and allowed 3 others to quit, including their country director, who went on to secure work with another aid organisation. Oxfam denies it covered up what happened, but now it's emerged, the International Development Secretary wants answers about the way it handled the case.
We're talking about an historic case, but it is in some respects still live.
Oh, yeah, it's historic, but in some respects still live. What the fuck does that mean, you fucking twisted bitch? What does that mean? Does that make any... Hold on. Spock. Get out your cage, you big-eared bastard. Spock. Are you there?
Fascinating.
It is fascinating to try and actually pause these people in mid-flow and go, what is happening here? What did she just say? Let's analyse that. You know, this is the stuff that isn't allowed to get said. Now, what are Vulcans all about?
Vulcans never bluff.
Right, never bluffs. Now, see what this bitch is saying? Does it make any sense? Does it sound logical to you?
That, sir, is illogical.
It's illogical, isn't it? This case is historical. Very much like very much like Cyril Smith and all the paedophiles in Westminster. Historical. I've seen the black and white pictures. Don't think about it as in present tense. But she's telling you it's It's not only historical, it's also very live. And again, I can't criticise her because she's got a vagina and a pair of tits. And obviously, if I criticise her for being a fucking whore or just having no moral compass, being a talking head, spouting pish. In fact, not even spouting pish, spouting illogicals. The insinuation in today's climate is you've got to be some sort of misogynist. As if you get some sort of a gripe against women. As if I wouldn't try and annihilate a man that was sitting up there spouting the same pish. Well, sorry, biatch. I treat all sexes the same. With equal scepticism. I don't know she's got a vagina. She could have a poppy out bit.
Still have information they should be giving to the authorities.
It's to the department here that Oxfam's leaders were summoned to make their case to the Secretary of State following her threat to cut millions of pounds of funding if she didn't like their answers. But there are...
My God. I don't like your answers! I'm going to cut millions of pounds of funding to you! I know you're doing a good job, but I don't like your answers! Anybody listen to this stuff? Does anybody hear what's actually getting said? What kind of lunacy of a system we currently operate under?
Are also questions for the Charity Commission, which regulates these matters.
Also questions for your fucking orthodontist as well, mate. Didn't he manage to stick those fucking Roger Rabbit teeth quite back in?
Not least how much it knew and why it didn't do more.
Why didn't your orthodontist do more, I know?
Did say that they were investigating some allegations of sexual misconduct.
Oh, another woman that you can't criticise because she's got a vagina and she might be a bit fat. You can't say fat woman or you're just misogynist. Not the fact she's just a fat woman, right? Look, you can't look after yourself and you've got a vagina and you're talking pish.
So why wasn't that looked into further?
Because what was not clear was the extent and seriousness of those, which, as I've said, They assured us, in fact, they categorically said there was no allegations of abuse of beneficiaries.
Talk to me when you grow a neck. Talk to me, like, see when you've got these people who are head of charitable foundations, who are meant to be like, helping others, and they, like, categorically, provably, by visual recognition, can't look after themselves to a state that they might not die of a heart attack tomorrow. Is this not crazy? I don't care if they've got a face like fucking a bulldog tuna wasp, but at least, like, not 10 million chins, not dripping themselves in gold. You know, the church and religions are good at this.
Yes, look at me with my $1 million hat and my cardinals and vicars. You all have to look after the poor while we drip ourselves in gold.
Yeah, there's a disconnect here. A lack of logic.
Andrew Mitchell was the International Development Secretary when all this took place.
Well, I think Oxfam were economical with the truth about what they were investing.
Now, what the fuck does economical with the truth mean? Anybody? Hello? Anybody? Anybody in the real world that knows the real things about what that stupid prick just tried to say? What he's saying is they're liars. Right? What he's saying is they're liars, but because he's a politician and he's a liar, he can't call them liars. Right? So game's a bogey. It's what you call theatre. PR. People appearing to be real when they're not. See, if that was me, you, anybody else, a genuine person, those cunts are lying. No. Economical with the truth. That's newspeak. It's bullcrap. It means a fuck all.
Investigating. They may well have stuck by the letter of the rules, but they certainly did not stick by the spirit.
Right, so they may have followed the rules, but not the spirit of the rules. Again, what kind of retarded shit is that? Who talks like that? See as a parent, you caught a kid in in the cookie jar, and they started going, "Whoa! I was just economical with the truth. I was adhering with the letter of the agreement, not the spirit." Stop lying, you wee bastards. Stop being... I mean, come on. A liar is a liar, is a liar is a liar, is a liar is a liar. This guy is lying about people lying. He's lying so much about people lying, he can't bring himself to say they're lying. Which makes the whole fucking barrage of bullshit come out of him and the BBC with the lack of the ability of actually addressing any of these questions I've got here. Because anybody who doesn't suspend disbelief and watches this news, these have got to be questions you're asking yourself if indeed you want to know the truth, rather than just the conclusions the BBC are offering you up.
And after all, one of the big changes we made in 2010 was to introduce much greater transparency and openness into the way
much greater transparency.
National development takes place. And I'm afraid Oxfam were very clearly in breach of that at the time.
There are also questions for civil servants here after another...
I'm really confused. So these were non-governmental organisations getting ruled by the government. Right, so you get a non-governmental organisation who hasn't followed the government's rules. Can anybody see the disconnect, or stick that in your Edward Bernays? Anybody? Can anybody see how they can't tell you the truth for telling you the lies? The horse is bolted. The BBC, Alex Jones, the rest of them, every single one of them, they can never, no longer, ever bring themselves to tell the truth. Ever. Because then the whole charade, they'll just be admitting to the whole charade.
The former Secretary of State, Priti Patel, suggested they dismissed her efforts.
She's not fucking pretty, she's stinking.
To question how wide a problem sexual abuse and predatory behaviour is in the charity sector. Save the Children has volunteered that it tackled 31 claims of sexual harassment.
Save the Children has volunteered, but unfortunately they ate all the children last time. Look at Bigga Booga 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 Luka Mooka Hooka Hooka that runs it. I can't remember that big woman that looks like a fucking banana or something. You know exactly who I'm talking about. She literally walks around looking like a fucking fruit bowl. I mean, she has to get... Oh my god. How are these people head of charities? Here, go and save yourself, hen. Look how fat and... God, please show us her. Please show us big fruit bowl bitch.
Last year, but it says everyone must do more.
I'm not going to sit here and pretend to you that I can...
See, hold on, I need to do this for my own sanity. I need to show you the fruit bowl which is Save the Children. Am I getting mixed up? I don't think I am. It may be. If I am getting mixed up, I will admit it. Save the Children. Right, where's the fruit bowl? Oh, I think I must be getting mixed up. Does anybody know who's that woman that looks like a fucking big fruit bowl? I'm sure it's her. Save the Children head. God. Yeah. And I should probably take this away in case pornographic fucking images bounce up. Oh, I'm getting mixed up. A different charity. The fruit bowl woman is the head of a different charity. Save the Children, I'm sure, is the one that done the F.E.A.R, which trauma-based mind control people pretending that Syria came to a place in Britain. Sorry, a bit of a muck up there. But anyway, you will probably know who the fruit bowl I'm talking about.
Wave a magic wand and eliminate all risk tomorrow.
Bata Mangareta, Bata Tuma or something like this. Let me look at the chat there. Mate, her... She looks white, right? You like if you look at her, she's like white. She dresses like a fucking Middle Eastern fruit bowl, and my god, man, she's literally got to be the fattest woman that can walk ever, and she's trying to save people. She can't save herself. Now, like all shit aside, right? All jokiness aside and all that, and through the jest and humour I'm trying to do this with. Seriously though, think about those dynamics. Think about the dynamics of somebody sitting there, clearly like Jabba the Hutt shit. Clearly can't look after themselves. Like they might be. It's almost like it's a form of self-harming, isn't it? Like if fucking can't stop fucking feeding your fat chops until you're a fat obese and like genuine obese. That's a form of self-harming. And yet look at Cyril Smith. Cyril Smith. He couldn't stop himself eating to the extent where he couldn't fucking move, right? And yet he was still the leader of the country. Are you having a giraffe? This is the world in we live, man. And it's not all about aesthetics and shit like that. That's not what I'm talking about. It's the ability to actually look after yourself. Clearly to me, if a human being, in fact, let's just use animals in general. Clearly to me, if an animal can't look after themselves to the extent they are knowingly self-harming, whether it be like chewing their fur off, chewing a leg off that's perfectly good, chewing their cock off which is perfectly fine, or overeating to the extent that they'll probably die tomorrow, and yet they're standing in front of you and saying that they know bests, that they know what's best for fucking X, Y or Z, that genuinely no longer sits right with me. No longer sits right with me. I cannot have that. Oprah Winfrey, you're obese, and Donald Trump. Nah, in fact, compared to Oprah Winfrey, Donald Trump looks fucking fit and healthy.
But what I can do is to assure the British public and the British government and the people who we're ultimately responsible for.
He's got a B. Baracus haircut.
That we will give this our best shot.
Oxfam says it has now put new safeguarding measures in place, including tougher vetting of staff.
Right, so what's happening here is NGOs, love them or hate them, right? I just don't understand them, to be honest. Are now getting put under government regulations. When at some point the people stop calling them NGOs, or are we literally living in a world? We are literally living in a world where the War Department's called the Department of Defence. Literally. Not only that, we've got people alive. We've got people, and these are all the old crazy people who remember before Edward Bernays turned up and it was called the Department of War. And yet people that point that out and stuff, it doesn't mean anything. Words mean nothing. War is peace, mofos.
Other charities are calling for a new sector-wide passport that workers can take from agency to agency to verify they are suitable and safe to be trusted, helping those most in need.
Oh wow, here we go. This is it. There's the agenda there. Right, NGOs, we all know NGOs aren't NGOs. What you think they are, it's up to you, right? They are not non-governmental organisations. They're like spook centres, aren't they? I mean, the Red Cross and all that, it's just intelligence gathering. It's the best way to gather intelligence. So now, what they're wanting is passports. Why not make them biometric? Fingerprinted, bagged and tagged for official government-sanctioned NGO workers. Right, so basically what they're trying to do, right, is, this is now what I'm seeing it as, is they're trying to, the powers at be are trying to regulate who can and cannot work for NGOs, which would allow them to control the ratio of spooks in the NGOs. So they want more Western spooks than other people's spooks in the NGOs. So the agenda is kind of coming clear now.
Matt Cole, BBC News.
Well, our diplomatic correspondent James Landale is here. James, to be clear, it's not just Oxfam facing a crisis with the government.
It's called NGOs, yeah, but what we need is regulatory shit by governments across all NGOs. That's what we need. Well, wouldn't that make them government organisations rather than non-government organisations? No! They would still have the title NGO, but they would just be run by the GO.
Government over funding, over allegations of sexual misconduct.
No, the government's made it very clear that...
And can you see how this fits into the Weinstein shit? Weinstein stuff has just paved the way for the ability to call anybody a sex pest. Wee bit of sexual allegations anywhere. Oh, he called it a is or a she it or some shit like that, and they'll get shut down.
They are going to write to all charities that receive public funding to say, look, do you have any evidence of allegations of abuse, past and present, within your own organisation? And also, if what safeguards do you have in place? And if the government is not satisfied, then they too have the threat of losing their public funding hanging over.
Public funding? I am having a brain schism here. I thought these were non-governmental organisations. I thought they were charities funded by us that wanted to help people.
Them. There's clearly a specific issue in relation to charities. The charity.
Yeah, there's clearly a specific thing with NGOs and charities. They're not charities and they're not NGOs. And they've been infiltrated by people that we don't like. So we need to infiltrate these things even more and regulate them even more so we can control charities.
Charity Commission, the body that regulates.
Well, they're not obviously just helping people then, are they?
The sector said this morning that they know of 1,000 cases at the moment. And that's not just the aid sector, but the whole charitable sector. And the Prime Minister's official spokesman...
How many billions pounds of profit are rocked up in the charitable sector? Who? Charities making profit. People walking away with hundreds of thousands, £1 million yearly salaries running charities. Does nobody's alarm bells go off?
This morning was very clear. They said that the government has to do more to make sure that all charities toughen up their safeguarding procedures, their vetting, their recruiting, all of these procedures.
Look at the stupid, charities have to do more to follow what the government tell them to do.
To ensure that people who have positions of authority because they have money or because they have some kind of authority over vulnerable people who are being helped by the charity.
Hello, Brother John, you have authority over vulnerable people. Hey, that's Brother John's channel in a nutshell.
Do not have the opportunity of these kind of cases to take place again.
OK, James, thank you. James Landell there. Well, our correspondent, Will Grant, is in
Charities and religions, 5. Charities and religions, no tax.
Haiti, where he says it's clear aid agencies will need to do work.
But don't worry, this is brought to you by the Token Black and the BBC.
Work hard to rebuild trust within the country.
Right, let's go on the ground and ask the Haitians. Oh no, let's go to the white man on the ground.
By and large, the reaction in Haiti to the Oxfam scandal has been twofold.
Yeah, no mate. Let's go and ask the people in Haiti and you won't get the same fucking shit this guy's about his spew.
On the one hand, there is deep anger, resentment at the fact that this organisation ostensibly here to help the country's most vulnerable.
Anybody heard the Clinton Foundation mentioned yet? Is Oxfam getting held out to dry to save the Clinton Foundation?
After the 2010 earthquake, ended up exploiting those people instead. And there is a certain degree of resignation. People here say that the sorts of abuses that were happening were well known. We've reached out to people in the charity sector here who say they had certainly heard the rumours, and they point to a wider culture of abuse that they say has been happening among international organisations. They point at the UN peacekeeping force, for example.
There's the unagenda wrapped up in the Oxfam thing, right? So here is the old world order getting absolutely demoralised, brought down, their authority stripped, and I'm no fan of the United Nations. I'm saying there is an agenda out there to gun for the United Nations. This is wrapped up in it. Wrapped up in the agenda to control NGOs, which we all know are not NGOs. I hate even using that as a fucking term. We don't all know. I'm of the opinion of, yous make your own mind up there and getting caught up in other people's rhetoric, particularly fucking Mike Rivero. Tells everybody, I believe, and then tells everybody to believe blindly shit that I'm just repeating for internet conspiratard sites.
A very high profile case of alleged sexual abuse of minors, and the fact that the UN peacekeeping force was said to have introduced cholera to this country.
Said to, they did. When they started sleeping with all the population, they brought cholera.
As for Oxfam, well, they say they are going to...
Right, now, does this sound like anybody else's rhetoric? Who's brought you this rhetoric before this? Who was on this agenda before the BBC? Alex Jones, Ron Paul, and all the precursors to the political agenda that got Trump elected.
To work hard to rebuild public trust in Britain in their reputation, but in fact they already have a very, very long way to go to rebuild trust here in Haiti again too.
Will Grant in Port-au-Prince there in Haiti. Now, 3 British tourists killed in a helicopter crash in the Grand Canyon have been named by police in America. Becky Dobson, Jason Hill and Stuart Hill died on Saturday.
Who's betting the good-looking girl's photograph will come up first?
Evening. 3 other Britons and the pilot were injured. Here's James Cook.
The helicopter came down in rocky, remote terrain, bursting into flames. It appears the survivors were able to get out despite suffering serious injuries. But 3 Britons on board died at the scene. 27-year-old Becky Dobson, 30-year-old Stuart Hill and Jason...
He's too ugly to have a photograph.
Hill, who was 32.
Oh, aye. Only the good-looking girls get a photo.
For the survivors,
oh my god, literally no even... the woman died, fuck the guys! The ugly cunts, you wouldn't even fucking notice them.
3 young Britons and the pilot, the ordeal was far from over. Rescuers, including local military personnel, were flown in, but then had to walk to the crash site using night vision goggles. It was more than 8 hours before the injured were flown to a hospital in Las Vegas.
We weren't able to extract everybody from the crash site until 2 this morning. High winds, brown...
The Grand Canyon, hold on, in Las Vegas? I either need to show my hold on. My ignorance. I always thought the Grand Canyon was like northeast America on the American-Canadian border. Is it? Oh my god, is this my ignorance? Am I going to improve my ignorance here? Is the Grand Canyon where like Niagara Falls is and all that? The Grand Canyon. Why are they getting thrown to Las Vegas? Please, somebody, like that doesn't make sense to me.
Brown out dust conditions, rugged terrain, and as you know, when you fly in treacherous conditions like this, you have to have special training and special people.
It's not clear what caused the crash, which involved a Eurocopter EC-130. The tour company Papillon Airways says it's the world's largest aerial sightseeing outfit, flying around 600,000 people a year. In 2001, 6 people died when another of the firm's Grand Canyon helicopters crashed. The Foreign Office says it's now providing support to the British families of this weekend's victims. James Cook, BBC News, Las Vegas.
Maria Villarreal from CBS News is at Grand Canyon West 4.
I just done a quick fucking search for that there, man. Wow, I've improved my ignorance. You know, ignorant me, I always thought the Grand Canyon was up at Niagara Falls. Learn something new every day.
For us this afternoon, Maria, it's early days, I know, but are there any indications as to what may have caused the crash?
Well, good afternoon, Clive. What we know right now is that it is still too early in the investigation to really know exactly what may have caused the accident. As we heard the police chief talk about, weather is definitely something they are looking at. There are federal investigators that will be on scene today from both the Federal Aviation Administration as well as the National Transportation Safety Board. They will be taking a look at everything here, talking to witnesses and also surveying the scene. One thing
I know, teach my bad, man. Cannot believe, and but hey, that's what learning's all about, innit? So Niagara Falls, the big canyon. There's no a big massive canyon up at Niagara Falls. You know what? I need to stop getting my geography lessons for Superman.
Exactly what they could have done or what will be done for the future to make sure this doesn't happen again.
Okay, Maria, thank you for that. Maria Villarreal, they're live at Grand Canyon West. Now, Theresa May and the Irish Prime Minister, Leo Varadkar, are visiting Belfast for talks with Northern Ireland's main political parties. There are suggestions the Democratic Unionists and Sinn Féin could be close to a deal to restore devolved government after the failure of several previous rounds of negotiations. Power sharing at Stormont collapsed more than a year ago. Keith Doyle has the details.
The first visit for the Prime Minister this morning was the Bombardier factory
My
in
tits
Belfast.
were this big.
Last month, a
Then I
surprise
became a
settlement in a long-running
ostrich.
trade dispute saw jobs secured here. Mrs May's visit to Belfast is seen as a sign that another settlement to secure the restoration of the Northern Ireland executive may be close. Northern Ireland has been run by civil servants since the power-sharing executive collapsed in January last
year. There's been no government. Nobody's died.
Tensions between the ruling parties, the Democratic Unionists and Sinn Féin, over implementing the Irish language and same-sex marriage, as well as an overall acrimonious relationship, has resulted in 13 months of stalemate. At the weekend, the new Sinn Féin leader, Mary Lou MacDonald, indicated that some sort of deal might be in the making. It seems that may now be the case. The Prime Minister was last in Northern Ireland during the election campaign and has been criticised for what some described as a hands-off approach to restoring the power-sharing executive. Today's visit is a clear indication that progress has been made. The Prime Minister is meeting the parties at Stormont, the home of the Assembly, along with the Irish Premier, Taoiseach Leo Varadkar. Speculation is the deal to restore the power-sharing Assembly may include a workaround to resolve the issue of the official status of the Irish language.
A reach
A
around?
source of division
Hey, must be a good fucking talk.
Restoring the power-sharing executive would come at a crucial time for Northern Ireland, as it faces another huge issue, Brexit and the Irish border. The Irish government wants further guarantees that there will be no hard border. Theresa May has given those guarantees, but as yet no clear plans have emerged to show how that will be the case. While this is all the makings of being a day for deals, these days have come and gone in Northern Ireland in the past.
Keith, just how much confidence is there that perhaps power sharing could be restored?
Well, Clive, the Taoiseach and the Prime Minister are here in talks at the moment, and having them here certainly does indicate that a deal is in the air, but it's far from signed and sealed. There are huge issues, none most so more than the Irish language. The DUP has said that it will not bring in a standalone bill that would increase the level of the Irish language to an official status here, where Sinn Féin has said that's exactly what they want.
The Irish language? An official language in Ireland? Fucking hairy fairyland, mate, what are you talking about?
But having the Taoiseach and the Prime Minister here, they're both saying that they're encouraging the parties to reach an agreement, and they're emphasising the importance of reaching an agreement. Now, the DUP has said this morning that there still is work to be done. So while there is optimism that there is a deal possible, the fact that the optimism is geared up towards a deal being done today, I think that is far-fetched. I think it's more likely that we're likely to see a deal this week rather than today.
OK, Keith, thank you for that. Keith Doyle there, live at Stormont. Now, London City Airport has been closed today, affecting around 20,000 passengers after a World War II bomb was found nearby. All flights have been cancelled or rerouted, and local residents have been asked to leave the area. The bomb was discovered by divers in the Thames, and police say they should be able to give the all clear sometime tomorrow. Now, Kensington Palace has announced more details of the wedding of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle.
Wonder if we'll see the hidden hand again.
The service in St George's Chapel will begin at midday on May the 19th, avoiding a clash with the FA Cup final. Here's our royal correspondent, Nicholas Witchell.
They are said to be closely involved in the arrangements for their wedding, which is now a little less than 14 weeks away. As already announced, it will take place in the historic setting of St George's Chapel within Windsor Castle on Saturday the 19th of May. The service will begin at midday, with the Dean of Windsor officiating and the Archbishop of Canterbury, Justin Welby, conducting the marriage itself. Room within the chapel is limited. There'll be space for around 800 guests. But after the service is over, at around 1 o'clock, the couple, married as they will be by then, will set off in a carriage procession through the centre of Windsor and then along the Long Walk and back to the castle for a reception in St George's Hall.
Fuck's sake, man, you think we're living in medieval times? Yes, the people did fucking rule above us, did they? Go for a long walk, then back to the castle. This guy just loved walking with his hand on his chest for some reason, man. I can't get it, man. Fucking here, ginger pants, what's that all about?
The carriage procession, they hope, will fulfil the pledge they made at the time of their engagement to make it...
I don't know about you guys, I often walk about like that. Commonly just walk about with my hand on my chest like that for no fucking reason, nah, it's just natural.
It's possible for members of the public to feel part of the occasion. Nicholas Witchell, BBC News.
The time is 1:15. Our top story this lunchtime. An Oxfam is in crisis talks with the government.
People that we say is bad are bad for reasons that we tell you. What we need is more government organisation, regulation over organisations that aren't the government. Get it? Got it. Good.
Bad weather, it's high.
Bad man fall, good man falls. Cause of bad weather.
Coming up in sport.
I like footballers that cannot die.
A run in half-pipe qualifying.
That's just in case you woke up.
An agreement allowing Rohingya Muslims to return to Myanmar from refugee camps in Bangladesh. Many say they won't go home. Hundreds of thousands.
Weird.
Military crackdown and violence from pro-government militia groups.
Pro-government militia groups.
Now wants safety guarantees and the right to citizenship before going back. Well, 3 aid workers from one charity have been filming video diaries.
Hold on, we've just been told that aid workers and charities are scumfucks, can't be trusted, and sex pests. Now you're pointing to aid workers from charities, the sex pests that can't be trusted, as some sort of a reliable information on your story. But don't let that logic bounce into your nut right now, just blindly swallow it. Yeah, the absurdities of the shit they're saying are absurd, but just believe it.
Of their work helping the Rohingya at the world's largest refugee camp in Bangladesh. And Chris Rogers has their story.
Let's go to the NGOs, which aren't NGOs, which we told you are scumfuck sex pests, but now we've to believe them, even though we told you they'd lie, but now they're telling the truth here. Okay? Got it? Good. Get on with it. Sorted.
The world's largest refugee camp.
According to an NGO, which are full of, well, maybe it's the biggest brothel in the world, who knows? Has the United Nations got in there? Is Oxfam pimping the bitches out? Are we making money for these cunts yet? Have we sold them vaccinations? If they ain't making money, they're bad. I don't know. How does it work?
This is home to more than 800,000 Rohingya Muslim refugees, escaping persecution in Buddhist-dominated Myanmar.
Well, I thought Buddhists were all good. I seen Buddha, he's a fat cunt with a belly, he's alright.
Dr. Ramez Momeni.
You know, somebody asked me that earlier on, and I wish I had actually had the wit about me. You're not seeing Buddhists, terrorists. According to the BBC, there is, aye.
Genevieve Jones-Hernandez and Sarah Wade have travelled the world helping refugees, but nothing can prepare them for what lies ahead. The Humanitas charity are heading deep into the camp, where there's no aid to set up.
Oh my god, look at all these unhappy people. They've not got Nike shoes. They've all got Nike fucking shorts. They've all got football tops on. They've all got Western... but they can still do with a pair of Nike trainers and cable TV, I think.
Up a medical centre.
Oh, and they need vaccinations and Western medicines. Look, the fucking stairs are made out of mud. Fucking hell, look. Definitely poverty.
To set up our clinic where no one else has reached yet, so obviously it's going to be tough.
Oh, quick, give them Western medicines.
Oh, wow. There are so
Suck
many
on
babies.
This. Suck on the white thing, young kid.
Newborns.
That's it, get in training. Suck on the white thing.
14 days old. Don't have any food. Starving.
Doesn't make sense. So it's an underweight baby.
She was prescribed vitamins, but just for her, not for the baby.
Oh!
Honestly,
yeah, see the people dying at the end of your street, you know, there's homeless people at the end of your street in your own city centre and all that. Who gives a shit? You know, the NGOs who are liars and sex pests, but these ones aren't because the BBC are telling you they are. Even though they said there was more questions about other charities and stuff. But anyway, fuck logic, just believe the BBC.
It's like the baby's, dying. So we've just...
Oh, cry for camera! Woo! Woo! Golden Globe, bitches!
Organised for her...
You know, I love these brown dying people. I've got so much sympathy for people just I see in the street dying that I walked away from the people like literally dying at the end of my high street, at the end of my street, and I had to fly hundreds of thousands of miles, you know, killing Mother Earth with the global warming juice, and I had to rock up on the behest of white cunts to care about the black cunts. Well, there was white cunts in my back dying. Makes perfect sense.
To go and get referred because she needs to go to a hospital.
I thought the BBC told me that all the charities do is give them syphilis and rape them, turn them into sex workers.
For that, she needs to have her ID card.
I wonder if she cried that much as your mum dies in her own home right now. See, you know, like, what age is she? About fucking 20 to 25? What age is your own ma? Is she in her fucking, is she pensioner age yet? Who's looking after her? If you paid a random stranger or the state to look after your own mum, well, you fly hundreds of thousands of miles round the world, stick your wee orange t-shirt on and go, I care about the skinny dying black people. Well, the BBC tells you that NGOs are all scumbags and sex pests. The lack of consistency on their own bullshit is phenomenal. It leads me to believe I can't believe any of it.
So tell her that we're very...
But hold on, she was crying. I'm sure she really meant it.
Sorry that she lost her baby.
I think we expected to turn up and be working alongside a lot more organisations or volunteers. We've worked within the Syrian refugee crisis, and it was full of organisations.
Oh, so you were politicised for the Syrian refugee crisis.
Volunteers and people there on the ground, and I think we expected this to be slightly similar, and it is.
I wonder why they're all bouncing out around with the most easy to spot t-shirts in the world, almost like they're virtue signalling like, look, there's my football top, I've got a football top on, now I need to save people. See, they only shag the sex pet, they only go around and pimp and whore people off when they take their orange t-shirts off. This is them just going through the stock of humans, the slave stock. Good guy. Whoa, yeah, pretty one. Here, put her in the special fucking tent.
Her pulse is very low. So we're just rushing to the hospital. We got these newly arrived Rohingyas and severe dehydration.
Yeah, well, here, fat man, you don't look like you're dehydrated. Give her some of your water.
There's absolute lack of aid for these people.
Larger?
No, but let's drag her in front of the cameras and shit and make it look like we're saving people.
International aid organisations complain Myanmar has blocked aid convoys and staff reaching the refugee camp.
Yeah, remember folks, because Britain cares about lives, even though we're told Oxfam, British fucking charity over there, turning them all into sex slaves, giving them gonorrhea, syphilis, everything else, are British. They hate them, but they love them, and this time it's real, but that time it was fake.
It's time for the team to head home, but more refugees arrive in biblical numbers.
All of these...
Oh, it's biblical shit, man! Bring it back to the Bible, y'all!
People tired, sick, hungry, and yet to reach their final destination in this camp and set up
the final solution.
Home.
It's not so much as a difficult...
Fuck's sake, how the fuck are you still fat? Why are there overweight Westerners feeding skinny dying cunts? Where the fuck are they getting their fucking ability to be overweight?
Thing to be here, I think.
She's technically obese. Put her in a fucking doctor's thing, technically obese. How the fuck can obese cunts go and feed skinny cunts? I think she's stealing the fucking food for the kids. Look at them.
Difficult thing to leave, knowing that we're leaving these people in such a dire situation.
How the fuck can you be fat and running a part of a charity feeding skinny cunts? Can anybody point this out? No, I'm just fattest. Not the fact that you could chop her up and feed fucking 10 million dying skinny cunts fucking for a lifetime. Nah, how the fuck are you still obese with your bleached look at her eyebrows and her hair. How are you still affording to bleach your hair blonde? You can afford bleach and hair care products for your hair, and you're so charitable you're flying. I don't think you are what you say on the fucking tin hen. In fact, you're not half fat tuna, you're fucking full fat tuna.
This is my last exit from the camp because we're heading home tomorrow. Somehow, they're incredible. And you know, the way that I see it, we're here to be a positive influence, positive.
Aye, here's my fat friend. She eats all your excess. She could have been keeping all your kin alive for some time.
You know, so we have to come with energy, come with smiles, come with balloons, bubbles, as well as...
balloons will feed them. Yeah, balloons and smiles. Kumbaya. Here, these are all dying. Look at my lovely orange t-shirt. Well, a virtue signal, and then I'll go back and live my life rightly.
Medicine. Show them that people care.
Why don't you show the people in your own country? Like, see when human beings stop killing human beings, then I'll seriously consider becoming a vegan. See when there's no starving cunts on my doorstep, then I'll believe that this is about actually being charitable to people dying and starving elsewhere and not geopolitical control reasons. Until then, stop fucking filling us full of shite.
Rogers reporting there, and viewers in London can see more of that report on Inside Out tonight at 7:30 on BBC One and on the BBC iPlayer.
Capturing the misery in 60 grand cameras. Spot on, these. That's it.
He's remained in office despite repeated calls to stand down amid corruption allegations. Well, the new ANC leader, Cyril Ramaphosa, has issued an ultimatum that Mr. Zuma must stand down or be forced out.
Remember, this is the British Broadcasting Centre.
Well, Pumza Filani is in Pretoria for us today. Pumza, what are the chances of Mr. Zuma finally learning his fate today, do you think?
Oh, there's the George Hotel. George Hotel. Is that in Georgetown?
Well, I'm sorry, we seem to have lost the line there to South Africa.
Some black cunt must have chewed through the wire, not knowing what it was.
If we get it back, we might bring that story to you. Now, rescue workers have found the second black box flight recorder from an airline that crashed over the weekend, killing all 7.
Is it called a black box because it's bigger than the white box? That is racist. Racist.
21 people on board near Moscow. Russia's emergencies minister says he wants the ongoing search operation to be completed this evening. Weather conditions, human error and technical failure are being considered as possible causes of the crash. Now, it's estimated that £3 to £4 billion is being laundered every year in Europe via
just through Tommy Robinson's sunbed shop.
So-called cryptocurrencies, such as Bitcoin. That's according to the director of the law enforcement agency Europol, Rob Wainwright, has told.
It's mental. Why the hell do you lead with conclusions and then give the context afterwards? It's absolutely crazy.
The BBC's Panorama programme that more regulation is now urgently needed. Here's Spencer Kelly.
A cryptocurrency mine, almost hidden in Iceland's snowy landscape. These mines manage currencies like Bitcoin. They earn their owners cryptocurrency for doing so, and as prices surged, many popped up around the world to cash in.
Every single one of these is a desktop computer. There are thousands of them, all wired together.
Now, this particular mine contains 20,000 machines, a very expensive setup. Unlike with normal currencies, Bitcoin transactions pass through machines like these, not through a bank. Because there's no central point, it's hard to trace the money as it moves around.
It's hard to trace the money. Hold on, that's a bit of a fucking step down from it's anonymous! Man, see anybody that uses that as some sort of selling point for fucking cryptocurrency, take your dick out and slap them across the face. You're so anonymous you can become a Bitcoin millionaire without any cunt knowing it. Fucking idiots, man. Idiots, they're literally reading what's on the tin and believing it.
For criminals, it's an almost perfect system for money laundering, something which is of growing concern to the authorities.
There are £3 or £4 billion worth of dirty money that are being laundered each year, I think, in Europe through virtual currencies. It's still a small proportion of the overall amount, but it's quickly growing. And of course, because this is an unregulated area, highly anonymized, it's very difficult for the police in most situations to identify.
Highly anonymized, very hard, unregulated, yes.
Who's actually cashing this out. We need the help of regulation.
So, no cunt wants to stop this shit. It's just a fight on getting the regulation on it. Ultimately, with their fucking gate, ultimately for there to be a bar, for people to pass the bar, and when you pass the bar, you pay your dues.
We need the help of legislators.
Politicians admit that the recent cryptocurrency frenzy has caught them asleep at the wheel.
I think that to date, cryptocurrency has not been on Parliament's agenda or
She looks like
on the
a
agenda
dinosaur.
in Whitehall that much. I think probably hand on heart, we've all been too slow, but the opportunity is
Hand on heart, Hen, you couldn't get a good few inches within your heart, I don't think.
not lost, and we should get on with the job now.
Some investors have made a lot of money from Bitcoin. Tim Draper correctly predicted that Bitcoin's value would explode last year and pocketed hundreds of millions of dollars by getting in early.
It's mental all these stories are coming out now that it's like free-for-alling, innit?
Could easily go to $1 million, or it could go to 2,000 per Bitcoin in any given period of time, because depending on people's perception and how excited they are and how the press portrays it and how governments push it around.
But others, even the infamous scammer known as the Wolf of Wall Street, warn that Bitcoin is not a safe investment for most people.
Very easy to think that they are right, that
Audio quality is going to drop, folks, sorry. I should have charged my batteries better.
this thing is going to the stars, it's going to be the next big thing, and you throw your money in, people are mortgaging their homes, people are taking loans out on their credit cards, they're putting their last dollars into Bitcoin. You know, the ones in the end of the day that typically get slaughtered the most are the average moms and dads.
It's these concerns that have led Lloyds Bank and Virgin Money to ban the buying and selling of cryptocurrencies with their credit cards.
Right? On their credit cards, not their debit cards, right? A very worthwhile distinguishing, because your debit, your credit cards have more protections than your debit cards, so they are they're not doing this to shut down the trade. They're doing it to protect themselves against liability.
And with calls for worldwide regulation from the G20 next month, the rules around cryptocurrency could soon be much more controlled. Spencer Kelly, BBC News.
And you can see the full report tonight on Panorama. That's at 8:30 on BBC.
So now we've had RT and Max Kaiser last week covered with myself telling you about cryptocurrency. Now you've got the BBC. Listen to both and make up your own mind.
Now let's return to the ANC meeting taking place in South Africa, deciding President Zuma's fate. Our correspondent Pumza Filani is in Pretoria for us now. Pumza, I was asking you a little bit earlier, what are the chances that Mr. Zuma will finally learn what's going to happen to him?
Certainly seems that the writing is on the wall, and this is officially D-Day for the country's president. The African National Congress have made no secret that they've run out of patience. We understand that behind me in that conference room, the party is going to officially make a decision to recall him. The stakes are very high. Political parties here are planning to begin campaigning for the national elections, which are meant to be in 2019. And the African National Congress simply does not want to begin that race with President Jacob Zuma still lingering.
Did you have to let it linger? Did you have to? Did you have to?
First pictures have been released of an iceberg which has broken away from the Antarctic ice sheet, and it's 4 times the size of London. Scientists say they're on an urgent mission to document the marine ecosystem of the continent, hidden for more than 100,000 years. Our science correspondent Victoria Gill has more details.
A new perspective on a 6,000 square kilometre swathe of floating ice.
So the iceberg is 150 kilometers long, 50 kilometers wide, and will be about 150 meters deep. You will be able to see the first 20-30 meters above the water, and everything else is underneath.
The trillion-ton A68 iceberg is gradually drifting away from the Antarctic continent and into the sea. And it's these ice-filled waters and the seafloor beneath them that scientists are now eager to explore.
Ask anybody staying at the coast anywhere over the last 20-30 years if they've noticed a rise in sea levels. Right, contrary to some beliefs, we stay in a sphere-ish shaped ball with gravity coming from the centre, which typically keeps the water evenly spread round the globe. Water levels can't rise in one area and not in another. Right? It doesn't happen that way, but anyway.
In the British Antarctic Survey vessel, the James Clark Ross, a team will spend 3 weeks studying the marine life that has been locked away here for millennia. They've described it as a treacherous but urgent mission. There are likely to be new species discovered as researchers seek out the creatures that make their home beneath the vast ice sheet.
We have no idea what's living underneath these huge ice shelves. We assume it is animals.
Nazi underground base. We fucking all know that.
That are specially adapted to life without green food and vegetarian. So we have a lot of scavengers and carnivores. It's like we...
Maybe that's what... Exactly! The Nazi underground base. All politicians of the world. The Nazi bastards.
Expect animals like in the deep sea that doesn't have light as well.
But the team also hopes to understand the processes that cause the iceberg to break away. This could reveal more about just
global warming,
how this fragile, frozen wilderness at the bottom of the world will change as the climate warms. Victoria Gill.
No question that the climate's warming, just categorically stated statements as fact.
BBC News.
Bad weather's making headlines again at the Winter Olympics in South Korea, but this time it's not the cold, but the wind that's making life challenging.
Oh, the weather!
The final of the women's giant slalom has now been postponed, and after the heats of the...
I always knew they were fucking giants. Fucking knew the Anunnaki were real. And now they're coming out with the giant slalom in the Winter Olympics and just dropping all these giants on us without even telling us. You know, I never heard that before, but heads up people, there's real giants having a giant slalom in the Winter Olympics. I never knew that before, man. Wow.
Women's snowboard slopestyle were cancelled.
Giant women at that?
Yesterday, today's final did go ahead, but in conditions some describe as dangerous. From Pyeongchang, Andy Swissersman.
Look at the size of that giant, man.
Getting to the start was a struggle. Howling winds for the women snowboarders, and soon a blizzard of controversy.
What happened to the
Instead
giant
of postponing,
slalom?
they went ahead with calamitous results. Oh, goodness me. Quite how no one was injured, especially Slovakia's Klaudia Medlova, almost defied belief. As one after another, their hopes crash-landed. All of the 25 riders fell at some point, including Britain's Amy Fuller. The wind forced her to pull out of a jump on her first run, which meant on the second it was all or nothing, and agonisingly it was the latter. Huge! Fuller finished 17th, but more importantly intact. The conditions, she said, were simply brutal.
It felt like I had a sailboat under my board. The wind just like ripped me sideways, and there was not a chance I was going to land.
Yeah, dude.
Devastated.
Amidst the chaos, America's Jamie Anderson kept her balance and her Olympic title.
How can she do it in the rest, can't he?
Safe to start the final, but was it?
The coaches and the judges, they all have a chat together, you know, and they make a decision at the top of the slope. And I wonder what went on in that conversation, why somebody didn't say, let's postpone this.
Well, these biting winds have already blown the schedule, of course. Today's women's giant slalom had to be postponed, and with more high winds forecast tomorrow, there could be more disruption.
For now, though, there'll be relief no one was badly hurt on a day when extreme sport certainly lived up to its name. Andy Swiss, BBC News, Pyeongchang.
Now, the makers of a new film adaptation of the Peter Rabbit books have apologised after complaints over the treatment of a character who has food allergies. In one scene, the boy who has a problem with blackberries is pelted with the fruit by a gang of rabbits. The charity allergy.
Oh my god! There's gang of rabbits stalking people in real life!
Now, does any Everybody in this world bring up the fact that this isn't real. There is not organic fucking rabbits out there that are allergic to blueberries.
The UK says the film, due to be released in the UK next month, trivialises a life-threatening condition. Now, pretty terrible in South Korea. What about the weather forecast here? Chris Fawkes is here. Hi there.
Well, we are. Hi there. And I'm going to mute that because... the audio quality is going to be pish. So thanks for joining. Hopefully you enjoyed BBC BeNewsment at Weinstein, Corp and more. Part of the 1984 Newspeak News at 1 for the 12th of February 2018. Hopefully you all had a good weekend. Thanks for joining everybody. There's Stewie, Gary, Society of the Spectre, Scottish Ross, a ridiculiser. Click on his name, the profile for all the music for the title and more. In the afternoon, guys, Stewie, Days, Roberto. In the afternoon, one and all, Scottish Ross, Gary, Committed Escaper, how you doing, my man? Cheech as well's in there. In the afternoon, there's Gareth, how you doing, my man? Big Paul, how you doing? Thanks for joining. Roberto Carlos, Gareth, how you doing? And Zeus Scott, Chinny 18, and Big Paul. I think I've managed to say hi to everybody that was in. So thanks for joining, everybody. Join tomorrow as well, where I'll be doing another a BeNewsment as part of the 1984 Newspeak News series. I will be continuously returning back to the BBC because it is pretty much the head of the dragon when it comes to the propaganda bullcrap spin. And it's beautiful to slow down, break apart and analyse. It might not be quick enough for some, but it is actually, I believe, over the longevity, it's worthwhile breaking that shit down and analysing why they're putting these things to us. They do it a lot more cleverly and concertedly than a lot of people, so always worthwhile breaking it down. If you do appreciate it, feel free to stick a wee thumbs up. It helps the show, it helps the channel, and most importantly, puts a smile on my face. You can also share it with your friends, family and foe. Help the show grow. There's going to be little to no cross promotion on the YouTube, so I rely on you guys and girls to try and tell somebody at home or one of your friends that you doesn't know about the show who you think might appreciate a genuine alternative way at looking at this bullcrap instead of an alternative version of conclusions. Big difference in my book. So thanks for watching, everybody. Tune in tonight. I'm sure Cookie Soul Excalibur will be on. I'll try and share that if I can. Make sure you tune into that. Tomorrow night will be Not the InfoWars Nightly News as well. If not, there'll be a precursor to that from the Student Union when I might be doing a wee bit of an open mic thing as well. So make sure you tune into that. Kips Clips 1883 for all the clips in the future. Make sure you bell it up and get all of the notifications when and as I'm doing live streams from the street and other locations. So thanks everyone. Make sure you tune in to Cookie Show tonight. Tomorrow night for Not the InfoWars Nightly News, and all the links below. If you get any value from the shows and the clips I do, feel free to use the Patreon and PayPal buttons down below. Digital busking, there's my cap out. Sticking 50p a pound, £2, whatever spare change you've got. Money that is spare, not stuff that's going to feed your belly. If you do get any value from it, support the media you like to see, not the media that we're all fed. Alright to YouTubes, thanks for listening. Have a good Monday, everybody. Catch you. Cips Clips.